So I'd like to make a motion to put out an RFQ to hire a permanent search firm in light of the fact that now I only have 3 meetings left through the end of the year. Dr. Dionisio gave his resignation, I think, I can't remember now, July, August. And so I don't want to wait July, August, September, October, November, December before we get started. So I'd like to make a motion to put out an RFQ to start the effort to hire a recruiting firm to assist the board in retaining a permanent superintendent. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Anch. Anybody have comments? Board discussion?
I have something to say.
Yes, Ms. King.
The term lame duck board was used a few times. I don't believe that this board should have their hands in anything having to do with choosing a permanent superintendent. I believe that that's something that should be left for the next people. Thank you.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Sullivan?
Anyone else? Ms. Mariani?
I've never been in this process of hiring a firm to do this, but I would assume that it's not something that's going to be done in a month or two. And I know I've heard from quite a few board members that they want to wait until December or January, and I just feel like that's a waste of time. So I think it would be smart, reasonable to move ahead with that process now.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Sullivan?
Ms. Anch?
I'd agree with Doreen Mariani. Even though it's a lame duck board, putting out an RFP to hire a search firm to get started in what might take 6-8 months, a year, maybe a year and a half, does not mean that the lame duck board will be deciding on who the new permanent superintendent will be.
Ms. Sullivan,
Mr. Magdansky?
can I be recognized? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
First, I want to apologize to Dr. Dionisio for the amount of abuse and harassment I witnessed today. Beyond fathomable. And I think one of the reasons why we want to wait, or at least why I want to wait, is the conduct that I see in board members and how they sit and say things to our superintendent that are awful. I can't even put into words what I experienced today. And that, Dr. Dionisio, I'm very sorry, truly sorry.
Anyone else want to be heard on the motion? Ms. Demetrio? Oh, sorry. Ms. Emilo, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to say that I agree with the comments that Ms. Mariani and Ms. Anch and yourself have made. I don't see any reason, good reason, to go ahead and wait till the new year, or as Vivian would say, until after the election, to hire a search firm, because it could take a very long time to find a permanent superintendent, and the right one, for our district. And so I don't see any reason. I think it hurts the district.
Okay. Anyone else? Ms. Colacortis, yes.
I asked back in, I believe it was the end of April, beginning of May, for this board to find unity. I asked that everybody, the public, the fellow board members, everybody, come to some sort of solution to get along and try to move this district forward. I agree with Mr. Badansky, the lack of respect for Dr. Dionisio. Miss, why is that acceptable?
It's not. Could
It's
you
not?
please-
Then why don't you say something?
I just was reaching over and I
Oh,
was just
I
about
see.
to say.
Oh, I didn't, Kim, thank you. Okay, so let me finish. How's that?
Let her have the floor,
Good.
please, uninterrupted.
So, now I don't remember what I was saying. Okay, so Dr. Dionisio, even though some people find it comical, has been extremely disrespected. Yeah, he has. And that's why he's probably leaving. So we are in this position because of the public and people on this board. And so, no, I do not think that we should move this RFQ forward. I think it needs to wait until January to give the new board the opportunity to find the replacement.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Again, with public comments.
Public, please. You're making me very uncomfortable, so please don't laugh. Let the board members speak. Board members let the public speak uninterrupted. Was there a hand up over here?
I have a comment.
Ms. Emilo, yes.
I totally disagree with Ms. Kolokordis and Mr. Banansky's. It's an opinion. And I know that I've never disrespected anyone in the administration, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'd like to speak.
Yes, Ms. Marianne.
I just wanted to go on record that if asking questions is disrespectful, then maybe I was disrespectful, but I don't believe it is. I think that's our job on this board. And some people on this board just do not want to hear an opinion other than their own. And during meetings, in executive and, committee meetings, simply asking questions is what our job is. And at no point was I disrespectful at all.
Thank you. Ms. Kolokordis, yes. Mhm.
So on January 5th, when the 5 majority members walked in motions, when you were here for the first time as board members, not knowing what was going on in the school district, what was happening, you walked in motions. That wasn't disrespectful to the superintendent and to the fellow board members that you were about to work with for a year? No, huh?
Ms. Sullivan, may I be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Bogdansky, sure. Mhm.
I take this board position seriously, and what I've witnessed over the past several months has really affected me in a very negative way. As I sit here today, I know I can say that I've learned a lot, have grown, and feel more confident since my term began in January. I made mistakes, and I apologize. I am able to step back and see things in a very different light today. Many things have unfolded in the past few months. Although I appreciate each board member in different capacities, I do resent the way I was misguided, misled, manipulated from day one by a person who believes she mentored me, by a person who is supposed to bring board members together, by a person who should put personal agendas aside and do what is best for our students. On September 11th, a motion to remove Ms. Sullivan as president was put on the table. As I sat and watched the 2-hour fiasco, I knew that removing Ms. Sullivan as president would not make things better, but in fact, it would cause more problems. We would have to deal with a trial the very next day. Not only would we incur more legal fees, but we would also lose the focus and time we need to search for a BA and superintendent. Our Board of Ed has been a disgrace. We have made very harmful decisions based on personal agendas. We have spent these months doing more harm than good, and it will take us a long time to repair the damage that's been done. I am looking forward to new leadership come January. A leader that will bring the next board together so we can focus on the students. Now keep in mind, 10 months, 2 law firms gone, BA gone, superintendent gone. What have we done for the students? It's time we wake up and do the right thing. Thank you.
Ms. Sullivan, can I be heard?
Yes. Mhm.
I just want to say that if asking questions, expressing concerns, pointing details or, different things out is being disrespectful, then if someone thinks that's disrespectful, that's on them. I was not elected to be a rubber stamp, and I will not be a rubber stamp, and if that is considered disrespectful by some, then so be it.
Ms. Sullivan, will be recognized.
Yes, Mr. DeLate, sure. Mhm.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome Dr. Baker to our district as the interim superintendent. Dr. Baker's appointment is the first step in the board's effort to rebuild what it managed to single-handedly tear down in the first 7 months of this year. It's a small but important step. Still in front of us lies the search for a full-time superintendent and the full-time business administrator. We started 2023 with both of those positions filled with high-quality people, but it didn't take long for board leadership's micromanagement to prompt their departures. Ever since January 5th, we have witnessed, and the district has fallen victim to, a board that has overstepped the boundaries between oversight and overrunning a school administration. I hope the board has learned a valuable lesson from their scorched earth decision-making so that we can get back to the business of focusing on what is in the best interests of the students. Thank you.
There's still a motion on the table, right?
There is.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, just
I know.
checking.
Yeah, there is. Mhm.
Let's vote.
So I have some comments on the motion that's pending, and it's kind of weird because some of the comments are not really relative to the motion, but Mr. Bogdansky, you made the motion to table the ESIP. You made the motion not to renew Mr. Fogarty. Oh, actually, you supported that motion. And you also supported the motion to hire a new firm, which was the Bush Group firm. And then you chaired the committee to find the second law firm. And so I'm shocked that you're saying that all those decisions or motions were somehow misguided, or you were not really clear about what you're doing. So how do I know you're not clear now? How do I know? I'm confused. So I'm not really sure why the change of heart. It seemed to me that you changed your mind soon after the board had tried to come up with a suggestion to hire a public communications firm to help in the disparity between the two schools, and no other board member or committee has ever made any other proposal to help that. And then when one of the committees made that suggestion, I actually held it back because Dr. Dionisio said he wasn't ready. That was respectful. And then the committee decided to try to go forward with it after some time because nothing else was forthcoming in their view about the disparity. That was for students, Mr. DeLate. But you called the vendor the day of the motion, Mr. DeLate, and you deep-sixed the proposal. But you have not yet made another proposal to address the disparity since. You sit there and you criticize every other committee's proposals. You don't chair any committee. Ms. Emilo chairs 2 committees. Ms. Mariani chairs 1 committee. Ms. Ann chairs another committee. People are doing double and triple duty. They're also on negotiations, which you resigned from. Yet you think it's okay to come here and mislead the public and say that all of these decisions were misguided and it's scorched earth. But where are your proposals to help the students? Why is it canceling a meeting is in the best interest of the students and you won't even ask Mr. Baker? And it matters not that it's a lame duck board. This lame duck board was going to propose block scheduling. But it's not okay just to put out an RFQ, which will take about 30, 40 days anyway to get responses. And then by the time those responses come in, it'll be the holidays. And so January will be the time that we actually consider the applications for the firms. So what decisions will be made other than a routine description of the firm that would help the board in searching for a permanent superintendent? I don't know, we have 4 new board members on here. I don't know that they appreciate how much work this is. It is a ton of work, and the sooner you start, the better. So now we're gonna let 6 months go by and do nothing. Not even go out to see if we can get bids. Nothing. And you've canceled the meeting. And you have board members that are doing double duty up here, begging you to consider some of their proposals, begging you to maybe look for a permanent superintendent. But it's just no, no, no. But there's nothing offered. There's no ideas offered. We come with ideas, and it's, no, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. And the reason why that firm quit, in my view, is because of what they said. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. They did not trust Brian DeLate, they did not trust Mrs. King, and they did not trust Dr. Lorenz.
That's a slander.
And that's what they said to me. And I will testify to that under oath in any court, in any day, at any time. So I encourage the board to rethink this idea. Now that we've got a canceled meeting, we can't even really look at the proposals, maybe till December or January anyway. And I find the hypocrisy of the lame duck argument preposterous, that you would be willing to start the block scheduling discussion, but you wouldn't be willing to even look for a permanent superintendent, which should be your focus right now. It should absolutely be your focus. So if there's no other comments, Ms. Demetrio, can you take the vote on the pending motion?
I have another comment.
Oh, so I'm sorry. Ms. Emila?
Just want to remind everyone that a lame duck board approved the ESIP last year, and a lame duck board also appointed 2 new members to the board last year and the year before when other members resigned. So I don't think it's a good excuse to go ahead and say that it's a lame duck board, and that's why we can't go ahead and hire a search firm. I think it's hypocritical, too.
Okay. Thank you so much. Ms. Demetrio?
Mr. Bogdansky.
No.
Mr. DeLade.
Nope.
Ms. Amalo.
Yes.
Ms. King.
No.
Ms. Colacortis.
No.
Dr. Lorenz.
No.
Ms. Mariani.
Yes.
Ms. Anch.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan.
Yes. All right, the motion does not pass. The board cannot go out for an RFQ to hire a search firm for a new permanent superintendent.